Another thing he talks about is overcoming challenges and the importance of trauma, in particular for men. I happen to believe that having a challenging life is very important for both men and women. I think that overcoming things, whether it's financial struggles or whether it's whatever it is that you've been through in life, I think that you can come out on the other side a stronger person, a more committed person to what you believe in. There's nothing worse than someone, and more unattractive, frankly, than someone who started out young, had a silver spoon, all the money in the world, didn't really have to work, didn't really have to be motivated, isn't really, it's just like, oh, I'll just, slide by in life. First of all, those people tend to be very boring because they're not multidimensional, because you build those dimensions of your personality through struggle, through trying to get that apartment and trying to pay for it and getting that job and working a lot of hours and realizing it's not for you, and then hustling around and trying to figure yourself out and going on those dates and realizing it's not good, and actually not having that financial cushion to kind of just throw yourself on. Imagine walking through life and there's just a big mattress, big old cushy mattress going beside you so that every time you tripped, you fell onto that. Kind of boring, A. B, you wouldn't be tough. C, your reflexes would suck because you wouldn't even have to catch yourself. So much would be off about who you were just because you always had that cushion. Let's play this, what he says on overcoming challenges. He relates it specifically to men. I understand why he's doing that. We'll talk about that in a second, but I do think it's a valuable lesson for everybody. This is 124:21.
I say the best things that ever happened to me are the worst things that ever happened to me. All the trauma and bullshit I've been through in my life are the best things that ever happened to me. Because as a man, if you've not had a difficult life, you cannot be good at being a man. Being a good man and being good at being a man, they're two slightly different things. But to be good at being a man, you need to have been through so much shit that when the Matrix deletes your entire life from the internet and starts lying about you at mass, and people start doing protests and wanting you fucking hung, and they're looking for your family members, and reporters start calling every ex-girlfriend you've ever had, trying to convince them and bribe them to lie, to come out and say you're something you're not. When they're genuinely out to put you in jail, that you can sit there and be focused and stoic enough to go, you know what? Okay, what's the chessboard? What's going to happen? Who's trying to shoot me right now? Nobody. Okay, so it's better than it was a couple years ago. Okay, so X, Y, Z, and plan through it, right? You're never going to be capable as a man if you've not had trauma. The best men ever have had trauma. If you call a police officer, you need a brave police officer. He ain't going to be brave unless he's been through shit.
Yeah.
He's not.
Yeah, and that's 100% true. You want, and that's why I think a lot of women struggle to really point out what they like about those guys that feel like they've been through it. And oftentimes when I would, say that, I would kind of word it like that when I was younger, and they'd say, oh, you like a damaged guy. And I'd say, no, I actually don't. It's not damage. It's that they've been through it. They've overcome it. And that guy at the end of the day isn't going to crumble when shit gets hard, because they've had to pull themselves up by their bootstraps before so many times that you can lean on them. And that's really important, I think, I really do, in a male-female dynamic. I think it's really important for women to feel that I can sink into my man, that I can lean when times get hard, whatever it may be, financial, a horrible loss in the family. I like that big bear hug feeling. I'm not embarrassed to say that. I think that's something really special about a male-female dynamic. So if you have a guy next to you that crumbles at every turn, that's not going to work. What I love about my husband is that he's very sturdy. I can be a little bit, when shit hits the fan, I can be like, oh man, I kind of like fly away for a second. For that minute, I'm like this. And he's just like not. He's very linear. He's very like, well, this is what we need to do. I remember, I'll tell the story again, during COVID in the initial months, I lost my mind. Mostly because I had a small baby. I lost my mind. I lost my sanity. I lost what I know about health and wellness. I don't know where I went. Remember, own up to these moments. They're what make us human. You can't become a better person unless you own up to when you fucked up. And I remember my husband was just very stoic about it. He was very walking around. He got COVID, ate his ice pops, went from one room to the other, kind of like, went to the grocery store, lived his life. He existed, and he was untouchable. All of the fear porn and all of that, it just kind of bounced off of him like he had armor. And that was wonderful. It didn't bounce off of me initially. Now it does, because I told you I don't like to get played. So now I'm like, I got like that snake skin, that, and not even snake skin is smooth. What is it? Porcupine? Trying to think of something that's like, that's how I feel now. But in those months, it was very important, because I was like, and if he had been, that would have been fucked. Instead, he was calm, and I was just like, And Jeremy was just like, come on, babe, it's fine. Like, here's why it's fine. Here's what's going to happen, blah, 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 blah. Very, very attractive and very, very important in men. Can you imagine a society if all of the young men just crumbled? You know, just like were the ones that were notorious for panic attacks. And I'm not saying don't abuse what I just said and cut a clip saying, oh, Jed says all the panic attacks are by women. I'm not saying that. But put a bunch of people in a room. I'm just asking you, do it. Put a bunch of people in the room and let a spider loose. And I want to know, there will be guys, don't get me wrong, that run to the corner of the room. But I'm guessing that the gender ratio on that will be more female. Just saying, try it. Try it with a snake, try it with it. We just have that in us that we're like, you know. And that's okay. It's okay. I'm kind of proud of my little you know, because I know that my man is going to be next to me and be like, babe, it's okay. I got it. He gets all the bugs in the house. I do not pick up those bugs. I don't want to pick up those bugs. I don't need to pick up those bugs. I got somebody for that. So what he's talking about here is really, really important. And I remember even for me going through media, overcoming challenges was very, very important. But again, you can't gut society. You cannot gut society unless you make men unable to handle the harsh realities of life. You can't. If you like the short clip, you can catch another one here, or you can catch the full episode right here.